Okay, so I've loved hearing the different disclaimers. I think we heard some interesting ones yesterday. So I do feel I need to disclaim a little bit. I'm compelled to tell you that I am not a technologist, not a bureaucrat, not even a CEO, but I have had the pleasure of working with Etan, my colleagues, and several member companies here in relation to Velocity. So we're going to walk you through that a little bit today and show you what we've been up to. Okay, can you click us? Do you have the clicker? Oh, nope, it's right here. There we go. So what is Cisive? For anyone who is not familiar, we provide pre-employment, compliance, and monitoring solutions to clients in the finance, healthcare, transportation spaces, and have been doing so for over 40 years. Not me personally, child labor laws, but really innovative products for us. How does that tee into Velocity, right? Well, we're going to talk about the background screening process and where we fit there, specifically with inspecting and issuing credentials. And so, Samantha, I think you're going to talk to us about the timeline.
Sure.
There we go. There we go.
All right. So we started this process in 2020. As you guys know, Jim, our CEO, was one of the first people in that four-person meeting that happened way in the very beginning. And I remember he came to us with this. It was myself and a few of the key developers, and we really started to ask ourselves questions. What is the CRA's role in this new world? You know, how does criminal clearance look like in the United States? And there was lots of different cultural challenges. You know, why do you guys require a city on your application? We were like, well, where else would you live? And throughout 2020, we began to engage with various parts of the business into the multiple committees, and that's where we started with the standards committee, and we were in the compliance committee and the tokens committee, even though that's not the way we're calling it anymore. And we started to come up with a proof of concept, and we used that proof of concept for our VEC. So that took all of about 2020, 2021. And then we started focusing with the healthcare division and the healthcare cluster, and we started thinking about our MVP. So let me just click this. Is this a remote? Okay. Mm-hmm. So this is what our considerations were when we were coming up with the MVP, and I'm going to take you through each one of these boxes.
Looks like Tetris.
I'm kidding. I'm not going to do that. So we started out with our product goals, which are pretty much standard for any of our products in our business. We want faster, more accurate background checks. We want cheaper labor costs, and we want a delightful user experience. And then we started to ask ourselves our questions. You know, what is our role in this new world with a holder wallet? If we're not mining the credentials, what will we be doing? How do we reconcile discrepancies between manually entered data and ATS data and velocity data? How do we make sure the velocity data meets our client specifications? And that's key. So what we're really doing is we're going to be curating the background check process. What happens if a credential changes status? So we started thinking a lot about the criminal background. So first of all, if I was a criminal, why would I share that with anybody? And if I'm not a criminal, you know, you don't know what my plans are. How do we encourage adoption? That's the big question. How do we decide what's most important for our MVP? And then we started thinking about challenges. So we are in a startup environment. The Velocity Network is a startup environment, but our business is built on things that we know and things that we're sure of, and we've been around for 40 years. So it was a mind-bending experience for a lot of people, very smart people on our development team. It's critical to have the C-suite. So we didn't have to sell to our C-suite. They really had to help bring us along and help us bring the rest of the company along, because it's not just the C-suite that needs to be on the ride, it's everybody. Then, you know, there was changes to the specification that we learned along with Velocity. So we have notary issuers, proxy issuers, self-reported credentials. Those all were developed along the way. And so that was really, really exciting. Our entire business is built to catch the bad actors. So when you're coming up with in a startup, you're thinking about, like, let's not think of all the unhappy path. Let's just build for the happy path. But our entire business is built on the unhappy path. We need to find those criminals, find those bad actors. So, and then overcoming skeptics.
Oh boy, yes. So has anyone here encountered skepticism while trying to get started? Yes. Well, we're fortunate enough to have innovative technologists leading our company, which also means sometimes you end up with a wealth of ideas, really great ideas that can contribute to revenue and get priority, and that's part of business, right? But the more innovation you have, the more challenges you have with getting the resources and the buy-in on something that's, somewhat intangible. So certainly some of that there. Also, geography, right? So we're not new to accommodating people across many time zones, many continents within our organization already. But when you consider calendars are already pretty thin, trying to find those optimal times to meet, then you really start going, okay, how are we going to get all of the right people into this room or on this call to talk about this?
And nobody in the VNF sleeps, so that helps.
Yep. Ooh, lessons learned. So I think we probably should have titled this Lessons Learned ... so far, because
Right.
everyone in this room, right? We're still learning. We've probably learned more in the last 2 days, just that's really going to propel us further. But first and foremost, I think having a dedicated team in your organization was huge for us. I mean, you have to have the time. Business will get in the way. Clients will present themselves. Internal, external clients will come up with distractions. And so you have to have that dedicated team, and not just, people with really great ideas, but people to help manage this, to help keep the momentum going forward from both technical, subject matter expertise, all of it. So that's been really, really important for us. Also establishing an ecosystem. So making sure that we could get the ecosystem going was the fastest way, evidently, to see proof of concept, see it come to life, really get on the train with issuing. And so having that goal and really pursuing that aggressively has helped. But who do you target for an ecosystem, right? So you must be strategic in your selection of who you're going to target. For us personally, HCA was a great target, naturally. They're a great partner. They consider us great partners. They take pride in their competitiveness and their hiring rates and the quality of people they put in the roles that they do and how quickly they do it. And so they also have a lot of support within their organization for being on the cutting edge. And so considering all those factors, in addition to what I refer to as churn, right? How frequently are they going to engage Velocity? Are they going to, be hiring people at such a fast rate that they're really going to create this effect within their organization and within the network? Prototypes. So having a conversation about Velocity, as we all know, the elevator speech is blurry at best, right? So getting a client on board to work with us for an ecosystem, really the best way that we could do that was to have visuals, prototypes, demonstrations, anything that could help them visualize this. And if we could make that familiar to them, then it really starts to click. So the storyboards, Velocity has wonderful storyboards out there. Vanessa, I believe, is healthcare specific, so that really helped. But then as we've created this product and we've demonstrated it, we've made it familiar to them, specific to them. So new hire onboarding is measured in days and clicks, right? I don't think that's just in healthcare. I think that's everywhere right now. We've been talking a lot about the changing needs in employment. And so being able to articulate and relate what this would mean for them, what their benefit was, really got their attention quickly.
Okay, so how are we doing on time?
Oh, have not checked time.
Okay, so I wanted to talk about this case study that came up in our standards committee. And originally, Velocity was not sharing the name on the credential. And as somebody, an organization who's identified that our business model is to catch the bad actors, I wanted to tell you guys about a scenario that we absolutely had to address. So I've got a cartoon here, and every time I run through this presentation, I name the people different. So I'm just going to call him Walter Whiteshirt, okay? Walter Whiteshirt has a PhD from Harvard, okay? Bill Blueshirt has a GED, so that's his GED up there. Bill Blueshirt wants to apply for a job that requires a Harvard PhD. Bill Blueshirt remembers that he plays poker every Saturday night with Walter, and he runs, and they're best friends. He says, "Hey Walt, you've got a PhD from Harvard. Can I borrow your phone? Can I borrow your wallet?" Bill borrows Walt's phone, opens his wallet. Bill sends his Harvard credential to Cisive, right? So without the name on that credential, we would not have caught that. And our whole business, like I said, we're here to catch the bad actors, scammers, and criminals. So the solution was that we actually partnered with our competitors. We met with HireRight and Infomart in the standards committee, and we discussed the gravity of the situation, and we all came together, and we had to consider maiden names, change names. It's not simple. AKAs, how are we gonna, like, I don't have this, well, I do have the same last name as when I was in high school, but lots of people don't. And, you know, velocities now, we came up with a short-term solution. We also have a long-term solution to think about, because there's sometimes people have the same names. That's even more rare, but, you know, we need to think about that, and we're working through those as we can get meetings scheduled. So now we can just show the demo.
Okay. Yep. Great example of co-opetition, right? And collaboration. Ooh.
Okay.
Hi, you're looking at the pre-check applicant portal. As you can see, I've filled out all of the yellow tabs. This is where I fill out all of the applicant information. And I've gotten to the import credentials tab. And right now, and this is an optional tab, you can see if I can import my credentials from the Velocity Network. I might not know what the Velocity Network is at first, and I could go ahead and I could click this site and visit the Velocity Network Foundation and learn more about what is Velocity, what the platform is, what the vision is, the Internet of Careers. And, or I could skip the tab altogether. But if I have a Velocity wallet or another wallet that supports the Velocity Network, I could go ahead and click this button that says Import with Velocity. And you can see here, I get a QR code that I can scan from my wallet. I'm going to pause this video here and log in from my phone. Okay, as you can see, I'm logged in from my phone, and I'm in the holder wallet, and you can see I'm logged in as Adam Smith, and I can go ahead and I've already got my credentials, my employment history in my wallet from Microsoft, and I want to go ahead and I want to share those credentials with Velocity, and I'm going to, so the first thing I need to do is scan the QR code, and I get this. Do I want to share the disclosure request? So here, Cisive would like to share your credentials with them. Cisive is the parent company of PreCheck. I'm going to go ahead and select my employment credentials. And I'm going to select those. And you can see here I get the terms and conditions which I must select. I can choose to read the terms and conditions, and I can just go here. And this takes us to the Cisive specific terms and conditions with regarding Velocity and our privacy policy and things like that. So I'm going to go back into the wallet and I'm going to go ahead and click share. It's asking me to confirm that I want to share. It's processing. This is could take up to a minute. That was pretty quick. Your credentials are successfully shared with the verifier. I'm going to go ahead and click OK, and I can see that the holder can see who they've shared their credentials with. So I'm going to go ahead and pause again, go back to the desktop. Okay, so I've already scanned my QR code, and I can go ahead and click I'm done. And it's just showing that I've importing the credentials. It may take a minute. We've got it. We're all done. Close out this and go ahead next to my next step, and then finish the rest of the information that I need to fill out, and I'm done. So thank you so much.
So, oh, is that not on?
I don't think it's on. You can try that one.
So when you get to the review tab, which I did not record because it's still under development, you will see a, would you like to, any of these working?
No.
Can you guys hear me? It's going to
Yes.
say, would you like to share your, would you like to get more information when we get credentials for you to receive those credentials? And then they'll say yes. Once we verify all of their credentials, we will send them an email with a QR code, and they'll be able to get that. But that's still under development, so that's what's going to be live at the end of the summer.
Okay.
Want to go back to the presentation?
I think that's it. Any questions?
Okay.